So, you wish to play the Knight Errant in Sands of Salzaar, but you keep getting beaten by whatever faction you encounter in the land itself. Fear not, dear viewer, for I am here to provide you with the information that you need in order to somewhat succeed in the land of Salzaar as the hero of the downtrodden, the Knight Errant. If you are a new player of this game, here is how I'd advise you on how to spend your 60 legacy points for this character. 25 points on talent, 25 points on stat, and 10 on extra uta or resource packs. Early on, I prefer to get talents that boosts my move speed on the world map, handy for avoiding enemy armies and getting to places faster, but it's really your call on this part. Until you hire Rick or get healing talents, you should avoid hiring troops. It might seem unintuitive to do in a game that is often described as a mix of Kenshi and Mount and Blade, but here are the reasons on why I suggest that you should go alone first. Number 1. Your character earns 100% of the experience from fights, which can let you get even more skills that further increases your own character's overall power, which leads to the second reason. Many fights in this game does not allow you to bring your troops, so that very much means strengthening your character first, especially since certain legacy point boss fights are time-based, is more important when starting a playthrough in my opinion. Number 3. Most of the sources for human troops can be rather annoying to get to. For example, if you wish to recruit troops from villages, you might end up encountering a boss that can absolutely trance you at lower levels. There's also the option to bust open prisons, but here's the thing, you only get 2 people per prison, and a squad can have up to 5 in one. So you might have to bust open 2 prisons for a full squad. You may also buy animal pets as cannon fodder, but what pets you can get from a merchant tends to be random. Number 4. The maintenance cost of troops. In this game you don't pay wages, but here's the thing, unlike in Mount and Blade, where upgrading troops only cost gold, in this game it may cost wood, ironstone, or even jade. Troops can be seriously injured in this game when they get knocked out in combat, and at higher difficulties they will get serious injuries more often. Unless you have White Rose potions that can heal injured units in a squad, you would have to go to settlements in order to do so, and it costs the resources it takes to upgrade them. The next part I'd like to discuss is how the Knight Errant actually plays. In order to maximize this class's potential, you should play it as if you're trying to play a Devil May Cry game, where you try to stack combos as high as possible. With this natural flow passive, the more you string together sword plays, the more often you will crit and your crits will hit harder. Another reason on why you want to use sword plays as often as possible is that there is another passive that really helps in this game, and that is Insight. Disable immunity is very important, especially for the Knight Errant, since this class's defensive abilities only lasts in short bursts, and is activated by swordplay skills. If you were to get silenced, you will do anemic amounts of damage and will not be able to survive enemy hits for very long, so do not underestimate these 3 seconds of disable immunity. Once you've hit around level 12 or so, I'd suggest that you start attacking these 2 Ice Dragon bosses for extra skill points, stat points, and XP. These boss fights are repeatable every 30 days and will help you with reaching max level faster, plus lets you learn even more skills through Master Learn. And that brings us to the topic of Master Learning. If you reach at least around level 61 relationship points with certain characters in this game, you can learn their skill tree. If I only get to pick one character in this game to Master Learn from, it would be Assel, since his passive adds 2 things this character desperately needs, which is survivability and mana sustainability. Plenty of other characters besides Assel offer interesting benefits of learning their passives, but sadly I don't have their skill trees since there's so many of them to begin with. I'd suggest that you should ask the members of the game's Discord, which link I happen to put in the description of this video if you wish to know more, since there's only so much I can teach you about this game. Another way besides master learning from characters for more skill trees is to learn arcanas. The Knight Errant is a master of arcana, and can learn great passives from arcana trees like Lightning Arcana, that has 25% damage mitigation at all times. Fire Arcana also has 50% damage mitigation. In order to learn certain arcanas, you might have to do some dungeons first. 100 Jade can also be the tuition fee as well. Arcanas like Alchemy and Dark only requires you to give the teacher a very powerful item, though. Do note that you can only have 4 extra skill pages from Master Learning, and 3 extra skill pages from arcanas. You must also master learn first, since if you were to learn arcanas earlier instead, the arcana skill pages will count as the 4 extra skill pages you get from master learning, so do keep this in mind. Lastly, don't forget that even in epic difficulty, your character and heroes cannot die in this game from being defeated and will just teleport back to the rally point. And that's all I can say in this video without making it too long. If you have any questions about the game, I would gladly answer them in the comment section. I hope this video was useful or at the very least amusing. And as always, have a great time.